Hi everyone and welcome to Winter of Series 11 in Forza Horizon 5. As usual, we begin this season with the trial, and the car choice for this one is quite interesting. It's a stock showdown and we are driving Volvo 850R. I'm running default tune stock because the only tunable parameter here is the pressure in your tires, and it really is not all that important. It won't make a huge lot of difference for the performance. And performance, interesting word for this car. I tried to stay as wide as I could without stopping, and still that wasn't enough. Still somebody hit me in the side. There's a little bit of a really busy couple of corners here, both with AIs and teammates. As you can see, quite a lot of racing for these family cars. Now, I've been talking about performance. This is oh Jesus Christ. Okay, maybe I should try to survive through the first couple of corners first. You can see the pack doesn't really spread out all that much. There's a bunch of AIs in the front and all of us are here at the back. I'm all the way at the back, which is not ideal to say at least, but now we just cut over a few cars, 2 AIs and 1 teammate, I think. So now we, as the pack spreads out a little bit, we should be making a bit of progress gradually, hopefully, because right now on the first lap there's too much red in the scoring and not enough blue. Now, right, let's talk about the performance of this car. Obviously there's not a whole lot of it. It's a retro saloon car with a front wheel drive, really weak engine, and nothing about it is really set for racing. It's more suitable to drive to a picnic with your family. Just turning it is a little bit of an issue. Now there's a lot of inherent front wheel drive understeer, obviously, but it's a little bit worse than with other front wheel drive cars that are properly tuned. Obviously this one is not. So usually in Forza, at least, due to some extra front wheel grip. Oh geez, that was a big shunt in the back. Okay, that was a teammate, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that is a teammate. Let's see how that goes. So usually front wheel drive cars are really good to for making the corners at high speed, but not this one. Problem is there's no proper tuning and no proper tires either. As a result, trying to turn it while on the power is actually very difficult. It tries to refuse to turn, but then the moment you let go of throttle, it turns almost a little bit too much, and then because tires are really narrow and not really grippy, it loses traction right away. So you can see when people are turning, there's a lot of smoke coming up from the tires. That's basically what happens. So the recommendation for driving it is be patient. In this trial, really be patient. Try to make it as clean as possible and don't get nervous, because it's basically a marathon rather than a sprint, considering the speeds. You can see the top 2 AIs are in front, and I don't think, well, maybe Chazzy will catch them because we are on the last lap. Oh yeah, he's on them right now, so that's good. But overall, there's 2 AIs in the front and all other AIs are at the back, so there's a huge gap in performance of AI. So despite the vehicle being quite hard to drive and teammates maybe being a little bit of a pain in your trunk, the trial itself shouldn't be too difficult. As I said, the last 4 AIs, their performance is even worse than the general one of the car, so we should be fine in terms of points. Just I don't think, yeah, I don't think I'm catching this teammate who messed up 2 of my corners with a little bit of collisions, but that's alright. I mean, these cars are they're not hard to drive. They are actually quite easy to drive, but they are really easy to mess up as well. So we are finishing close together, probably 1/10 between us. I'm 5th. That's not a very high position, but I can live with that as long as the team wins, and that's what the team does. And actually, pretty surely, you see 2.6k points versus 1000. That's really nice. Let's go for the second race, which takes us to Emerald Circuit. So 2 circuits in a row. Now, Emerald Circuit, for those who forgot, the initial section is quite tricky, the first sector, because there's a succession of corners that flow really nice into one another, and they actually ask you to get through them at speed, but then the checkpoints are positioned in a way that it's very easy to miss one. Well, so need to be a little bit careful, especially here in the heat of the battle. Starting from about here, this checkpoint is easy on its own, but a lot of push happens there. But now right here it's super easy to hit the wall, a bit harder than I just did, and then it sends you flying way to the right, and then you can automatically fly past the checkpoint, which is not very nice. We don't want any of that, but so far so good. This corner here, geez, again, am I being pushed by the same teammate? Yes. Oh, so lovely. So we have a teammate who prefers to push his way through without any regard to other teammates, and he's right behind me, so I need to be a little bit careful. Though, as I learned recently, something that is on one side kind of obvious, so I should have thought about it earlier, but never occurred to me. So a few people noticed in one of my earlier videos that while I had 2 points of view at the same time, on mine, there was a collision between me and teammate, but on his, we were at least a car length apart. So that looked quite a bit weird, but obviously that's a drawback of the networking code. Not really a drawback, just one of the things that you have to live with to simulate nearly real-time performance by all cars without any notable lag, unless the lag becomes really big, that the actual picture of reality on your client and on their client may be a little bit different. So obviously when there is a huge shunt, that probably happens on both sides, but if you are being pushed a little bit to the side, or just hit a little bit from the back like this, it may be that it only happens for you. It may be that there was no collision on the other side's client, and actually they made everything they could to avoid the collision. But it's the code of your game, of your client, that lacking the precise information from the server for whatever reason decided that you have indeed collided. So next time you get angry about it, someone being a little bit pushy, or pushing you through the narrow checkpoint outside of its bounds, think that maybe they actually didn't. And even when you have it on video, that doesn't matter. Their perspective might have been completely different. Same applies actually to situations when you see obviously that your teammate missed a checkpoint and still they carry on going. So the reality of it is that's your client's prediction that they missed the checkpoint, but from their point of view, and what's more important, from the server's point of view, they actually made it through nicely. Well, that's the end of the second race. Actually, third place, and Team Humans wins again. As you can see, this one is not very difficult. This trial, even if 2 AIs win the race, you should be fine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.